Here we are at Fleurs Creative and the proprietress, Alicia Schwede. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for saying that you'll visit just for a minute. I sprung this on you.
That is totally okay.
Okay, so you are in this really interesting space in Snohomish, this town north of Seattle. Maybe you could describe it and describe what brought you here in terms of starting your studio, or bringing your studio here.
Well, the funny thing is, Deborah, you're the first person to ever bring me to Snohomish, probably back in 2014. So it's been a long history. I fell in love with this town. There's something, it's charming. It was built, in the 1850s to the 1890s. These buildings, this particular building was built, they think, in 1905. And we're actually in a loft above what used to be the bakery that was here for like 60 or 80 years.
Wow.
So it's got a very long history. I fell in love with this town, and back around COVID, when I decided I needed a change, I didn't want to teach down in Seattle anymore, I told my husband, that's it, we're finding a space in Snohomish. And so in 2021, we randomly came across this building and renovated it. And so It's been,
5 years.
4.5, 5 years now.
Backing up, Flirty Fleurs is your platform, and that is your blog that you've had. Like, you're the first florist blogger that I know of.
I started Flirty Fleurs blog in 2010.
Okay.
I will admit, I have not blogged in a whole year now. I think I loved doing it for so long. I think I just got burnt out, and I switched more to teaching in person because I really like that in-person touch and talking to people and helping them. So the blog is still live. It's available. Anybody who's into roses, there's tons of information on there.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's an educational resource, and nothing is dated. It's all useful information.
Relative.
Yeah. So some people may know you as Flirty Fleurs. That's why I brought that up. And then Fleurs Creative. Is that how am I saying it right?
Yeah, I say creative or creative.
I don't know why I made you French, but maybe because of the fleurs.
Probably the fleurs.
Fleurs Creative has been more on your design business.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, since I started with Flirty Fleurs, I just played off the fleurs part and put on creative because I do have other classes here, like the painting classes, and my friend Quinn has done paper flowers here. So I wanted to open it up to a few more art forms than just floral design.
I love that. I love that. So this vintage building that is how many square feet?
1,000 square feet.
Wow. You found it, and what had been in here before?
Before us, originally it was the dry storage for flour and sugar for the bakery.
Oh, okay.
For like 60 years. And then right before me, there was a woodworker in here. He did a bunch of woodworking classes and everything. He was here for 10 years. He shut down during COVID, so when my husband and I found it, it was full of sawdust, and it was so just manly and messy and all that stuff. So we completely scraped everything and started fresh, except for obviously the bricks are the same. I love the old history. The windows, my husband redid them, so they still look like they're 100 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chad has a handyman
he's very
skill
handy.
set. Yes,
he is. And
wow.
the floors are the same.
So do you own the building, or are you renting it?
We do own it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is like the secret
Crazy.
Sauce of business success. Congratulations.
Yeah, silly little floors, got a building.
Well, I'm backing up people who've taken classes with you in Seattle before you. You often would teach down by the Seattle Growers Market in Anne's studio, right?
I split my time. I used to use the Growers Market building for quite a bit, and then Anne from Analog, I used her space probably 4 or 5 years. She would let me use it on the weekend. She didn't have weddings.
Yeah.
And then after COVID, I said, I just want to be out here. I like being out here in the country. So
well, the commute is brutal, and why not work closer to home?
Exactly.
So you don't have retail hours. You're a studio, and all of a sudden you have become a landlord to Sno-Co-Flo-Co, which is really brilliant. It's like a win-win for everyone.
Truly.
And
Me too.
I know they approached you, and Was it about 3 or 4 years ago?
I have to think, let's see, 2023, Tracy reached out to me via you. She knew us as a connector.
Tracy Yang from John Co.
I was gonna say, I forgot her name. Yes, she reached out to me to see about doing, I think they did 6 weeks their first year. Second year they came back really like 5 months. That turned out to be a little bit long for both of us, myself included, because I do have to shimmy my classes to make sure they can use it all day Wednesday. And they took last year off, so this year they came back and they're doing 3 months, and that seems like a real win-win for both of us.
Wow. And so it's a 1 day a week wholesale
Wednesdays.
collective, but they also sell to the public.
They sell to the public. We have a lot of public people come through.
That's great. And I'll be talking with Beth and Tracy, two of the co-leaders. But I just wanted to get your take on it from your point of view. Like, you're always thinking outside the box and doing surprising approaches to your floral career. And so for you to have this collective use your space, what are the benefits?
What I really like about it is I love hanging out with all these people. You know, I really love people. I am, in all reality, a shy person, but when I'm around flower people, it's just the joy is so fun to me, and I love watching people come into the community, come and buy flowers. I love them supporting all our local people. And also I can buy flowers here too. I walk in first thing, 9 a.m. They open at 9. I'm here at 8:50. I'm like, okay, I'll take this and this, and I put it right in my cooler. I don't even have to do anything, it goes right in my cooler.
So you get first dibs.
I get first dibs.
But Alicia, that is wonderful, because if you didn't have the flower farmers coming to you, you'd have to go to the flower farmers.
I do drive to Seattle, and I leave here. I live in Snohomish now, and I leave here at 5:15 in the morning to get to markets when they open at 6, also to try to avoid as much traffic as possible. But it's a 45-minute drive each way at least.
Well, I live near the growers market, and it took me an hour and 15 to get here today.
Oh.
But I didn't leave till 10:30. So
yeah, I leave early.
When you're going to the market that time of day, you're keeping farmers' hours. You're leaving very early. Yeah.
If you're in this line of work, you've learned to wake up early for a very long time. As you know, I come from San Francisco, so back in my day, 20 years ago, they opened at 3 a.m., so I got used to very early mornings a long time ago.
I've heard people would go at 2, 3 a.m. to San Francisco Flower Market.
If you wanted the good stuff, you wanted a certain thing, you'd be there at 3 o'clock, yeah.
So I know this has only been like maybe, they started at the beginning of June, so this is like week 3 or 4.
This is week 4.
What is the coolest? You posted some campanula yesterday. That was from the growers market.
That was actually the growers market.
Okay, I saw that.
Yeah, I had never seen that flower before.
No, I saw that on your site, but I had just seen it in person earlier because I went to the market. But what are you seeing that you are excited about this year?
They'll be bringing in a ton of dahlias soon, but I, for whatever, am so into snapdragons lately, of all things. And the colors have been so good. Also, Patricia grows the stalk, the most incredible stalk you've ever seen. The blooms, just not the whole stem, just the blooms are about that big. They're insane, and the smell is amazing.
I saw her stalk, and we were talking about the fact that she's probably the biggest farmer here, and she can handle volume in case there are people who need 100 stems for a wedding or something like that.
And she has a full nursery. I've purchased plants at her place before.
Garden treasures, yes.
Yeah, garden treasures. Yeah.
Well, I love it. Anything else that you want to talk about you've got coming up? This Art in Bloom, or what's it called?
What we have is Snohomish in Bloom. Beth, who is one of our main farmers here too, approached me probably in the end of last fall to see if I wanted to be on board, and of course now she and I are running with this. We plan to decorate all of downtown Snohomish with installations. We're also going to have a vendor market on Carnegie and classes at Carnegie. So we have a whole day planned of events, and it's exciting. There's a lot of farmers involved.
Well, Slow Flowers will try to get involved. You've invited me, and I just haven't wrapped my head around it yet, but you're really claiming this as your brand. You live up the street, and you have your studio here, and you bring people to this beautiful town.
I used to live, Chad and I lived up in Arlington, Stanwood. I love that. We had an acre, but we moved into town here 2.5 years ago. I have 70 roses in my front yard because that's normal. And my yard is just a garden. And I just love living here. I walk to the farmer's market and everything. I love Europe, as you know, and what do I love about it? Walking everywhere. So I found a town where I can do that here, and I can spend most days right in town doing what I need to do.
I love it. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
You bet. Well, I'm so happy to finally sit down after a very busy day of flower commerce to welcome Tracy, Sundby, and Beth, Kendall of Snohomish County Flower Collective. Hello, ladies.
Hello. Hello.
So before we get started, Tracy, I'll start with you. Would you introduce your farm and tell us a little bit about Freedom Flowers, and then we'll jump to Beth and let her tell us about Flower Farmer Girls.
All right. So I'm Tracy Sundby. I own Freedom Flowers up in Stanwood, Washington. We farm on our 2.5 acre property, probably only cultivating about 1/4 an acre of that land. And I specialize in growing heirloom chrysanthemums. And I love to grow flowers that you can dry, so everlasting. So we have a drying shed, and I just pack that thing as full as I can through the summer, and hopefully have crafters and people come out in the early fall to shop for their designs and that sort of thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And why Freedom Flowers?
Why Freedom Flowers? So I get asked that question a lot. It came from one of the hardest seasons in my life. So I became a mom. I was diagnosed with melanoma, and then I lost my job of 15 years working in pediatric dentistry as an administrator, and I just felt like I needed a new vehicle for freedom. Like I needed to I'm already floundering.
Well, you created your own path.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just kind of found myself taking inventory of what really mattered to me. And I found out that my faith, my family, and freedom were actually the most important things to me, and flowers. So it kind of came naturally, Freedom Flowers.
I love that.
Because it's given me the freedom to start a new community and stay home with my kids and do something that I really love. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
yeah, you bet.
I kind of put you on the spot, so I appreciate it.
It's okay, I knew I'd
Beth is
flounder.
over.
She knew that she might.
Yeah,
Beth
it
is
might
over here
happen.
thinking,
Yeah.
okay, I have to describe my business now. So Beth, thank you so much for being part of this. It's really great to talk to two people because you get sort of perspectives. Tell us a little bit about your business and where it's located and what you specialize in.
Okay, so I have Flower Farmer Girls here in Snohomish, Washington, just outside of town. And I started that with my mother. We're in season 9. So, and we started it, I was teaching part-time, and I had my first child, and we had been growing flowers on my property for years at that point already, but decided we were really gonna try and make this flower farm happen. And my mom, I grew up on a dairy farm and then a pumpkin patch, and my mom throughout my life had grown flowers and, you know, grown a cut garden, and she really wanted to see if she could make a flower farming business go, and had been so tied down to the other farm for so long that now she was feeling a little more freedom and being able to help me. And so we did it, and so I can blame her for all the ideas. The big ideas are usually her problem. Carol. She's the best. Carol Krause.
Thank you,
So,
Carol. What was
thank
that
you,
other
Mom.
farm called?
Swans Trail Farms.
Oh, Swans Trail, and you grew up at Swans Trail.
I did.
And that farm still exists.
Yeah, they're a mile down the road from
Wow,
me.
that's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
She knows everybody in Snohomish. Everybody walks in, hi.
That actually helps.
It
doesn't
does, it's great.
No, it's
great.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
So we started growing, and from there, that first season we decided, well, let's plant a whole bunch of peonies. So we put in like 120, no, I think it was more than that, 250 peonies the first year. And then the next year we thought, well, let's put in some more. So we added another 10 rows, which was another 130 peonies. And then a couple years later, we're like, well, let's put in a few more. And so we added another, I think it was closer to 400 the next time. And so, because we're getting close to 800 peonies now.
Okay.
But the way we have them set up, they're a little more spread out than a lot of cut flower farms, and we have grass paths in between. So then we said, okay, we want to market these, and I quit teaching. So I was like, well, let's try this. We'll do it 1 year and see how it goes. And so we opened up for a weekend, and it went well enough that we decided, well, let's open up for longer next year, because people kept showing up even after we were closed. So we started our peony field days, and then I have a pumpkin patch also in the fall, because I couldn't leave that part of my past out.
Right.
So
right. And also it kind of gives you balance in the seasons.
It does.
When did you start the peony days?
In 2023, I think.
Okay.
So this was our 4th season. So
Okay.
23, 24, 25. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
2023 was our first one, and we just opened for three days, I think, maybe 4 days, like a Thursday through a Sunday. So
I have to say, you are seated in front of Beth's flowers, and so
there's a few of Tracy's back here too.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
So
We got some in there.
people get a sense of the
Yeah.
diversity.
Oh yeah.
So, Snohomish County Flower Collective, short nickname Sno-Co-Flo-Co, which I kind of
rolls
like.
off the
It
tongue.
rolls off the tongue.
I love
It's a good
it.
tag.
Listen, I told my husband I was coming here, and he loved it. Yeah, he loves little
It's catchy.
hyphen. Yeah, exactly. Since slow flowers sometimes gets called slow flow in our house, so we're
There you go.
We're kind of in the same camp.
meshed.
You are the collective has joined Slow Flowers as members, and I think the origin goes back to the first year.
Yes.
When I should say Tracy Yang, who was one of the people who started this collective from Jarnco. She's moved on and is doing other things, but I know she'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
She, invited me to come, and she was a Slow Flowers member, and she's in the Flower Farmers book. So some people may know her that way. But I believe when I came before, I did meet both of you.
Yes.
It was 2 years ago.
Yep.
So you kind of have that institutional memory
Yeah.
as you're now rebranding and reconstituting this organization, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And this is kind of what I wanted to talk to you about, and sort of how are you looking at this collective and your goals, the people involved, and something that Tracy had said to me earlier about making this work for you and your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really interesting, because so many collectives, hubs, marketing groups, whatever you want to call them, co-ops, are popping up around the country more than ever. And I think your experience might really help other people.
Yeah, they're definitely gaining popularity. And we took a pause last year on doing the in-person flower market after Tracy Ying stepped away, because we wanted to know what we had to give to this market and what our bandwidth was, because running our own farms takes enough as it is. And so we just put a pause on it. Last year we just sent out a fresh sheet every Sunday for people to shop directly with the farmer through their farms, picking up from local hubs and that sort of thing. And I think last year we focused on just saving some of the money from collective dues so that we could hit marketing a little bit harder this year. And
Let me just pause and ask you about that. So basically, when Tracy closed her business and was going to move on and actually relocate to another state, who owned Sno-Co-Flo-Co? Was it just so informal that
it's a guild, and so
Okay.
it's not necessarily a legal entity. It's very kind of just a loose agreement between some of our members. And
So you just picked up the baton and kept running with it.
we did.
Yeah,
We just basically needed a bank account and somebody willing to host the bank account. And I saw the 40 members we had and thought, well, this is a little too powerful to let go. I'll do it. And trialed it out last year and just kind of held that pot of money for everybody. And we were able to go into the market season pretty strong with a good chunk of change behind us to invest in signage and paid ads on Facebook, which I feel like gets a lot of traffic.
helped a lot.
It's helped a lot. There's this Snohomish City Lifestyle magazine that we put an ad out in, and we joined the Chamber of Commerce in Snohomish, because all of these things are going to hopefully spread the word. And so those were things that we had the budget to do.
That's
One of the big things when we took over was we wanted a lot of transparency, because before it was just, and Tracy did a great job, but it was just Tracy running it. And so now we have like a leadership team that has come together, and we brought in last year we got together everybody that was like really involved and said, okay, who can give to this? And people said, well, I can be a part, but I can't donate my time to being on the leadership team right now. And
But give me an assignment.
I'm happy to help. I want to be a part of it. I want to see it go, but so it kind of fell on our shoulders, and then we have two other people on our leadership team that are really great at stepping in and helping, and so
ask a busy woman and she can probably find more time.
Yeah, she'll figure it out.
100%.
But one of the big things was we wanted all the members to know, like, hey, here is a spreadsheet of all the money we brought in, and here's how we spent it. So we were really big on like making sure that it feels like it's member owned.
And very transparent with things. So we have quarterly meetings, everybody's invited to, and they can find out that information if they want to come, or they can be hands-on.
Or they can ask us for it, and we have it available to them.
Open book.
And back to Tracy starting this, I just have to say my observation is that it always takes an innovator to start something.
It's so true.
And her willingness to pass the baton is also, I give her props because
I agree.
You guys
That's hard.
had a different perspective and energy that she didn't have. So it's lovely that transition was relatively.
We just feel like
I
think you could burn yourself out running it alone.
And she really wanted to see it be successful. Yeah. That was like, she's like, it was, a piece of like, hey, I built this. I want to see this keep going. Do you guys want to take it and
That's
go?
right.
We felt
and we said
pretty
yes.
honored. She was happy to pass the baton because she laid the groundwork for
and
us.
And also, you have that. Were both of you involved in year one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got, like I said, the institutional memory. Yeah. You are experienced growers. You're not newbies, so you had to think about what did you want this market to do for you. And I would love to have you comment on that because you talked, Beth, about people coming to your peony open house. Tracy, you talked about people coming to buy from you on your farm in Stanwood. But were those your main channels before this? Or how did you move flowers?
So I do the Arlington Farmers Market once a month. And then I also have a 1955 Chevrolet turned farm stand.
Okay.
It's like a trailer, and it's down at the end of the driveway. And that's kind of what I started selling with. And
it's super cute.
It's pretty fun.
Well, I want a photo.
Yeah, absolutely. So my husband built it for me. It was just growing blackberries at my father-in-law's back 40, and I said, that's going to be my farm stand. We call it the Outpost. And she sells a lot of flowers down there.
So do people just come by?
Yeah, it's self-serve. It's open daily.
Okay.
So from about 10 o'clock until dusk, I go down there and close it down. If I sell out, I will close it. So often it's closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. And I stock it with flowers on Fridays because I find that the weekends are the busiest. But we also have a little free seed library down there. So I started like a community seed swap. And I found that brings people back, whether they're going to buy flowers or not. So they're pulling into my driveway, swapping seeds with me, helping keep some like old gardening traditions alive. And I get a lot of cool seeds down there.
That is so brilliant because that is a way to build community.
Yeah.
And obviously, people who grow flowers are going to appreciate your flowers.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
It's a fun thing.
But a farmer's market once a month.
Yes.
And a farm stand on property maybe wasn't moving enough product.
It wasn't moving enough product. That's when I kind of realized I'm going to dry these flowers, and I started hanging them to dry because having a perishable product isn't always great. So I started honing in on growing things specifically that I can dry, and then really wanted to build community. I thought, well, gosh, I need to become a better grower because I was a new grower at that time. And networking with people that know what they're doing, I can get questions answered. Patricia from Garden Treasure, she just lives like 5-6 minutes away from me, and so I'm always hitting her up for questions and flowers that I can't grow, and it's just really powerful.
She's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, she's a wealth of knowledge.
And she's happy to share her knowledge.
She's happy to share it with everybody. So just like rubbing elbows with other growers, we solve problems for each other all the time.
Right.
Like I kill a whole flat of something, but maybe I have something alive. We could do a little trade ski.
Yeah.
There's just so many ways.
You kill flats of flowers?
No, I don't. I've never done that.
I only have half a dozen dead ones in my garden right now, waiting for a home.
There was one year that a girl caught her landscape fabric on fire and burnt her whole field down. And so we came in with our flats and we donated some plugs for her. And she ended up having flowers that season.
Wow.
You know, almost burnt to the ground.
And Beth, you obviously had people coming to your farm
So
to shop, but
I'm trying to
was it
think.
just peony season or
So
other times?
my peony field days was the first year of the market, right?
Yeah, it was. 'Cause
It was
we
the
did a
first
farm
year
tour.
of the market. So, so I started with subscriptions, and I just hit up everybody I knew and said, hey, and I just started building an email list and reaching out to florists. And I took my first couple years, I would load up my car, and I didn't go far because I had 3 babies at home. Well, 2 and then 3. And I would load up my car and I would just drive into Snohomish and stop by the flower shops. And they knew I'd set it up. I would come on Wednesdays. I'll bring what I have and you can buy what you want. And so Candace with the Petal and the Stem was one of my first like big customers, and she would like, yes, I want to buy your local flowers. And then I'd go up to the Snohomish Flower Company and she would buy a couple. And there was somebody else, and Alyssa, who has Sprig, and she no longer does flowers, but she has a clothing company down on First Street, and beauty.
All people that come into the market.
So she had a shop in town too, and so I would stop by her place. And so I just tried to build community with these people right in Snohomish that I could actually get flowers to, because delivery for me or going into Seattle to the wholesale growers market to take my flowers was just not in the cards.
Right.
And
that's about 45 minutes to an hour away.
yeah, and with small children and my husband's working, I mean, he gets up early and goes to work. So
No option.
there is no option. I couldn't leave at 5 and be home at 6. He was already gone. So
Were you taking your children in the car when you
no,
did
my
those
mom
orders?
would like, my mom
That's
or a
where Carol
neighbor,
comes in.
yeah, or my mother-in-law. Like I have a very large
Whoever
community of
wanted
people who
3
love
extra
my
kids.
children, and
But
will,
yeah,
you know,
basically you're running a bucket truck
Yeah.
for this zip code.
yes,
Okay.
and you know, and sometimes one of my kids would ride along,
Yeah.
you know, or 2 of them,
Yeah.
just depended. You know, I want to go with you. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I can fit one of you in.
The flowers have the rest of the-
They have to have
The
a home
flowers
first.
will be everywhere else. And yeah, so I just kind of started with that, but the subscriptions, and then we just built our subscriptions from there. I have 6 different subscriptions I do now.
And you're still doing it.
I still do them, and I have people that have been with me for 9 years, and
Those
they
are my
come back
favorites.
every year, and some of them buy every subscription. I have some people that'll buy 2 of every subscription, whether they're giving away flowers. My dad likes to get a subscription, and he likes to go give bouquets away.
That's
so
nice.
yeah, he likes to go find someone and give them a bouquet. Usually it's somebody he knows that.
Yeah,
But
needs
yeah,
some flowers.
so you know, I get I just built community that way, and you know, slowly started getting in with different florists, and then the market. And my mom and I had talked for so long about like, okay, how do we do a market? How do we get I'm like, there's other growers around here. How do we make a market happen? And so we talked about it all the time, and then this came up. And so Tracy was on the initial meeting. And then somebody sent me the link to it. They were like,
you
hey,
know what's going
do you
on in your
wanna-
own town?
Do you want to be involved in this? And I was like, heck yes, I do. And so I jumped on board and came to the markets, and my philosophy has always been bring way more than I think I'm going to sell.
Okay.
Because, and I preach that to all our new members. I'm like, bring way more than you think you're going to sell, because people they'll gravitate to the table with the most flowers. That's what they're going to do. And so, and we just have tried to build community, and it's been awesome. I make great friends, and we learn from each other all the time. Her and I swap back and forth plants. You know, we try not to kill them.
Yep, we did a good,
Mostly I
we
try
did a
not to
good
kill.
swap this year.
Yeah, mostly I try not to kill the mums. She hands me in the middle of peony season. Here you go. All right, when am I going to put these in the ground?
I was done taking care of them. It was your turn.
That's right. I did finally get them in the ground.
As soon as they left your hands,
Yeah.
Tracy, you
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think sold her mum plugs.
Yeah, I think at least 75% are going to make it.
That's
okay, well,
great.
good.
Yeah,
They want to grow. That's why
Yeah.
I like them, is because they are tolerant of my abuse. So.
Well, and that was the 25% that weren't gonna make it was my fault, not yours.
So this is your 4 and kind of the new like 2.0
Yeah.
for the collective.
I like that. 2.0.
Because last year it sounds like it was very, kudos to you for keeping that mailing list and keeping kind of a little bit of a presence in people's radar, so that when you were ready to relaunch, there was people hadn't forgotten about what this collective
Alicia
was.
told us people were still coming in here last year to try and find us. So.
We needed to take a deep breath though, and like, okay, what can we handle? Like you said, what can we handle? What do we want to handle? And then we had to, make sure Alicia wanted to have us back too. So that.
You talked about 2 things that struck me. One was, and maybe you can both take turns riffing on this. One is about maybe cutting down from 5 months to 3 months.
Yeah.
But then the other is more about the transparency among those who sell here, so people feel empowered to take your advice and bring more flowers. So I don't know, maybe you can start and talk about one of those, and then I'll bounce it back.
So the first or second year that we did the market, we actually hosted it May through September. I think we even tried to drag it into October one year.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it was just too long. I mean, by the time we were done with that market, all of us were just really burnt out. For the people that are here every week, for the market manager, everybody, for Alicia, who has us here every week, because she has other things going on. We just decided.
And customers.
Dwindled
towards the end.
When school starts, it's like this place just was empty, and we don't want to be sitting here with nobody in here. So we decided, let's just focus on summer. And then we shifted the day the market was on, because it used to be on Thursdays, and we found that was just a little too late for florists. They're already designing by Thursdays.
So Wednesday now is your
Wednesday feels like a sweet spot.
And what is the time?
9 to 1.
Okay.
And it used to be way earlier. And so we've kind of shifted to more of a midday to try and get some brunch.
It was funny.
and
The
lunch people.
very first year it was 7 to 11.
Yeah.
And then the next year it was 8 to noon. And then this year we're like 9 to 1.
Yeah. It's 1 hour the other direction. We're still trying to figure it out,
Yeah, that you also commented that reflects the consumer customer base as well as the wholesale. So you do retail and wholesale.
Yeah.
And how does that work?
We just feel like, so the florists, they weren't knocking down our door necessarily at 8 or 7 o'clock even. It comes in around 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And sometimes we did get some that would come between 8 and 9.
Because you will get those special bunches that they're not going to be a lot of. And
But-
so if you want something good,
But we did pushing it out so we could get that lunch hour.
I think it's made a difference.
And 9 o'clock was just easy. I mean, when people are coming from far away, it's just easier for everybody to be here and be set up.
Yeah.
Like when it was at 7 or 8, people were like scrambling to be ready on time and get all their stuff
Anybody
in.
that has kids, it's like,
Uh-huh.
and then we have what's called the market manager each day. And whoever's the market manager that day, it's one of the 4 of us from the leadership team. Their table fee is waived that day because they have to show up at 8 o'clock to unlock the doors, they have to lock up, they have to sweep, they have to push the tables back, they have to make sure, answer pricing questions. So we just felt like,
Be the greeter.
the market manager gets their...
Is that new to it?
That is new, because in the past, we had a designated market manager. We're not 100% sure if that was a paid job, but we think it was.
It was supposed to be.
It was
Remember
supposed
it
to
got
be.
marketed as a paid
No matter what
position.
it was paid, it was underpaid. You know what I
It
mean?
wasn't paid enough.
She wasn't getting paid enough, and
To do it every week.
But
I think it burnt her out.
Doing this shared and also getting a little bit of a waiver on, get your fee waived.
Yep.
That's good.
It's incentive.
Well, and we
Makes
all
it less
we all
rough.
help each other too this way. So like when we're both here, like
We both did it today.
Yeah, we both helped with market
She
management.
can't not greet people when they walk in here because she knows everybody.
And I can't not tell people what to do at some point in the day.
Whenever you're comfortable sharing, I think people will be really interested in knowing the business structure. So you talked about the booth fee or the table fee. That is paid whenever you're here selling, you pay for that day. And what is that? Or I'll let Beth answer.
So we have to cover, mostly the booth fees cover our rent. So we rent the space from Alicia. And so we charge $50 flat for each person so that we can cover that. And then also some weeks when we have more and some weeks when we have less, the weeks that we have more, it will help cover the weeks that we have less.
And it gives us a small buffer for some type of advertising, you know.
And
so you have 9 tables in the space?
10.
Okay.
Today there were 9.
Okay.
We can fit 10. And we haven't done it yet this season, so we'll see.
August.
We kind of changed it around from how we did it a couple years ago because we wanted the flow of traffic in here a little bit better. So we're still, I'm sure it'll change each week.
We're learning as we go.
Yeah, we just kind of learn as we go.
Okay, but you have over 40 farms that do want to sell here.
Not everybody wants to sell.
Okay,
Some
so
people,
tell me how that works.
some people are newer growers and they're like, I just want to be a part. Or some people share tables. We get a lot of farmers that want to share a table.
And you're okay with that?
And we say, yeah, that's great. Share a table. Because like I said, the more flowers you have on your table, the more you're going to draw someone to you.
Because we want them to make money too.
Yeah. So then, but we say you split the table fees yourselves. One of you is the designated table person.
She's very serious about this. This is bad Beth's billing department that's talking. She does all the billing and she's like,
I am all the invoices and all that. Yeah.
Moms know how to set rules.
Yeah. Well, and I taught for 14 years, so.
So don't mess with me on this one.
So you had alluded to earlier when we were talking, Beth, about record keeping and knowing more about what is selling, what isn't selling. So how do you collect that, and how do you share that with the other growers?
So, you know, as far as what sells well at the market, that's up to each person to keep track of. And we haven't really, I mean, we send out a survey usually at the end that kind of is like, hey, what went well, what didn't go well, what was your best seller, you know.
That would be interesting data
I would love to know that.
track. Seriously, like to be able to have all of that information.
And for each week would be awesome too, just because during the season.
Yeah.
But
well, baby steps. You can do that next year.
Yeah,
exactly.
Maybe. But this year we just have little slips, and you get the same slip each week, and it has all the dates on it. And so if you're not at a market one week, you just cross that one off and go to the markets you're at. And it's got a spot for notes. So like if you shared a table, you would put that in your notes. If you were the market manager, you would put that in your notes. If you, if something random, like today I had a pre-order from like 6 weeks ago, and then earlier this week she said, oh, can I pick up at the market? And I was like,
should it count towards
sure.
the market's
And that's what we
revenue?
were discussing, like, does that count towards as a market sale, or is that because that
Pre-sale.
was, yeah, that's
So
a
we
pre-sale. So I just put that in the notes.
Pre-sale column.
This was a pre-sale, and this is what I made today. And so we were asking people to put what they made, and if they can keep track of it during the day, how many retail customers did you have? How many wholesale customers? How many bunches did you sell versus bouquets? Because we try and encourage people to make a couple bouquets, because
Retail shoppers want that.
Yeah,
It's actually,
retail-
sometimes I can see the confusion entering their eyes. Like, what do I do? What do they don't even know where to start.
So in some ways you are operating like a farmer's market, because you are taking care of your transaction.
Yes. So each person that comes in, we tell them right up front, we have the same prices across the board. The price list is for everybody. And so when you come to the market, you have to charge the same thing that everybody else charges.
And check out with each farmer individually.
And then each farmer does their own transactions for their table.
So that must be a lot of negotiation to get the prices figured out, or
No.
We
does it work
have
out?
the greatest pricer ever.
Patricia, that is something she takes on.
So Garden Treasure, she does all of our
Because
pricing.
she's kind of your veteran grower.
Yeah.
And she does her own price. Like
She's been growing for 14 years.
And if
she
we
knows.
don't necessarily agree on something, we'll chat about it. Or if there's something that isn't on the list, like we talk to each other and say, okay, what is this similar to? How would this?
Yeah.
And so, and like last week we had a mix up on the price of roses, and I was like, is this right? And she was like, oh my gosh, that's a mistake. And so I was like, oh, well, I charged somebody that much for roses and it seems really expensive. Then I had to text them and be like, I owe you 5 more roses.
It's always a battle to figure it out, but we feel like we got a good system.
Yeah, so, and we just are like, hey, if you want to come to the market, these are the prices. And if you don't like the prices, or you see different prices, or someone goes down to the wholesale growers and they see that we are way overpriced or we are way underpriced, let us know. That's part of being part of the collective, is we want our members to speak up and and tell us when they see something
Yeah.
that like,
Like,
hey,
yeah.
look at this idea,
And
or hey,
a lot
look
of
at
the,
this idea.
Yeah, a lot of the new members, they're just learning.
Yeah.
Too, so they know nothing about
It's-
pricing. So it's a very valuable resource.
So
for
they
them,
they
too.
are like asking us, is there what do people charge for this? How much is this?
5 stems or 10.
You know, it feels like those standards are really helpful for everybody.
Yeah.
Obviously for the customer, but for the growers to feel consistency.
I wish more growers had access to that, because when you see people undervaluing their flowers as a grower, you're like, ugh.
I had somebody that lives in town this week. They had grown butterfly ranunculus or some kind of ranuncula, and she had sent me a message through social media, and she had said, someone asked me if I would sell them my ranunculus, and they said this price, and I think it was like $10 for 10 of them. And she's like, but I didn't want to undercut local growers. What is the actual price? And I was like, that's $20 bunch.
Yeah.
Like,
Easy.
you should be selling those for $2 a stem. And
28
she was
for
like, thank
retail.
you. That's all. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
That's great.
undercutting the local growers.
Love you.
Yes,
Love you.
yes. Because you do see, like, especially like even like little roadside stands, and they'll have these like giant bouquets for $20, and I'm like, how did you do that?
I have to compete with that.
Well, and
We all
also,
know about that, yeah.
how do you can't make any money
I
on
feel like
that.
they have their people that will find them, and your people will find you. You
You
know what
have-
I mean? It's different.
Yeah, and you have superior quality, and people
Exactly.
I'm sure, comment on that when
Yeah.
they come through.
Yep. They get longer stems, product. It's like,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Fresh.
fresh. Yep.
Tracy, you just said something under your breath when we were talking about the $20 bunch of ranunculus, and you said 28.
I
if it's
said
retail.
28 retail.
Okay, so what is that? Is it like
So we charge different prices for a wholesale customer who we have their resellers permit on file versus a retail customer,
Right.
Because we're trying to cover our table fees. And so back 2 years ago, it was all wholesale pricing, just one price list. But most wholesalers you go to have both options on there, one for a reseller and one for retail. So retail customers are used to that.
So that was like a 20%?
Yeah, about
markup?
15-20%.
Okay. I mean, I can't imagine that someone would
Actually,
object to that.
I was just looking at the formula that
Yeah.
she used. I think it's 25%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But I could be wrong. It could be 20. 20 to 25, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Well, here we are at week 4. Congratulations.
Week
you
4,
made
we
it.
did it.
We did it.
Oh my gosh. 2 more months to go.
What else do you What else do you want to touch on before we wrap up?
Man, I don't know.
You have all your notes.
I know.
Oh, you know what? We talked about our why.
Yeah, I know. I
And-
feel like that's probably
yeah,
important to cover.
so why we do flowers.
Yeah.
And so my biggest why is joy. Like, flowers bring joy to people. Whether I'm giving them to people or whether people are buying them from me, like, they just bring joy. And I've had a number of people who are either homebound that I've like tried to get flowers to in the last couple of years, or in the healing process from an illness that's keeping them at home too. And like I that's like my go-to is like, well, flowers, pretty sure flowers will make you feel better, because there is something, I don't know.
I was reading her notes and it made me cry. I was like, flowers are so joyous.
Yeah, and so like, I mean, I hear this all the time. People that work with flowers, they're like, oh, I don't bring them into my house because I get tired of them. I'm like,
You're
why
crazy.
do you work with them then?
You know,
Like,
when I am done working with a lot of flowers, I will say like, oh no, I am cutting one for me. I'm bringing them in the
Yeah,
house. And
yeah.
like out of spite, I'm like, I'm putting one
Yeah,
together
I
for
am
myself.
always bringing
like,
flowers.
I'll be damned if I'm going to give everybody flowers in the neighborhood and I don't have any.
yeah, I'm always bringing flowers into my home, and then I look at them and I'm like, that makes me so happy. I've had 2 grandparents die in the last couple of years, and they were well into their 90s. Actually, my grandpa was 99. And I got to do the flowers for his casket, for,
What an honor.
Yeah, and for the memorial, and like, it just made me smile to like, I grew those and I put those together.
I love
And, and my grandma also a couple years ago, sitting in the church and looking at those, and it was November, and I was like, oh, and it was that year we like, it didn't freeze. And
What a
so
good year
I
for
just
that
had
to happen.
so many like flowers still, and I was just like, this is like a blessing. This is
Yeah,
like,
it was meant to be.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, Grandma's looking out.
100%
I got-
she was.
And I just filled these big, huge.
She held out
and
frost.
they were like, definitely the end of season flowers, but they just still look just gorgeous up there at the front of the
Yeah.
church, and it was like, just made me so happy as I sat there
Proud.
and
Dust
yes, and
shoulders
just like So just like that joy that they bring, like I understand why people give them to someone when they're grieving and or sick, or I think they bring healing, and I think they bring joy to people, unless they have allergies.
Tracy, do you
That
have
make
a
them
line
die.
you want to add?
Yeah, so I grew up just being surrounded by flowers and women that love them. So my mom, my grandma, and my aunts just love flowers. So my mom always grew snapdragons. I grew up calling them talking flowers because you can squeeze aside and they talk. Kids, it's a real crowd pleaser with the kids. And she grew lots of straw flower and status, and I just always remember having that on the table, and she'd make potpourri and all this stuff, and just being so enchanted with flowers. And then my aunt was a florist and designer at Mobax growing up, and so I spent a lot of time in there, and she was in charge of doing the live theater floral fairyland plays back in the day, and I remember being so enchanted by that entire experience, and I would probably talk about it for way too long afterwards. And I think I realized that you could do a lot more with flowers than just giving them to people. Like, they could tell a story, they can set a whole production, and they just bring a lot of joy. I just grew up in the flowers all the time, so
it makes sense that you ended up
it makes
here.
sense. Yeah,
It makes sense that you both ended up here.
yeah, absolutely.
With all of your closest friends, family,
Yes.
customers.
They've kind of guided us here through the years. So.
I wish you a very successful season. I hope that people who are in the area go to the Seattle Growers Market, but also come up here to Snohomish and check it out, because you can have a wonderful day shopping for flowers, shopping for antiques, eating lunch.
Yep.
This is a charming historic community, and I do think that as sort of the ripples move out from the pond of the big city, there's bigger need for people
Snohomish
to
needs this.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive when we look
And
at our
there-
numbers. We're like, wow, I mean.
And there are so many
We're doing
growers. And one of the big things about the market that's really nice is there are so many growers that don't have a huge amount, but when we come together, like just having someone, Alicia and I were actually talking about this the other day. People ask me when they come to my farm, how come you don't go to the growers market? I'm like, because it's a long ways away. I'm not going to go down to Seattle.
Traffic is
far.
bad.
And
It's real.
I'm like, how come you don't just come out here? Why do you go to Seattle? That's what I asked them. Why do you go to Seattle?
It's far.
And they're like, oh, I guess that's a good point. But like Alicia said, it's a lot to drive around in all these individual farms. Coming to my farm, I have quite a bit of diversity and a lot of product because I have 10 and a half acres.
Yeah.
So I have more space to spread out. And it's not all flowers, but so I can use that and bring all my stuff in, or people can come to me and get it, and which I do have a lot of florists that now come out, and I've met a lot of florists through the collective and through the market. We're doing the market, and I had a lot of florists coming out and spending just as much or more out at my farm than they did when they came into the market.
Because it's more dispersed between other vendors.
And there's a lot of pluses for the coming to shop from 10 growers, and then if you can't make it Wednesday, people still will come out.
And then you're getting to know your farmer.
Yeah.
And so just establishing those relationships.
Yeah, and then when people come and they come in and they see, there's all these growers, and so maybe somebody only has 2 bunches of something, but somebody else has 2 bunches of the same thing, so then they can, I needed 4 of these.
Right.
I'm getting them from both of you.
Right.
So just that collective, that power behind a group of people growing together is awesome to see.
Our voice
and
is a lot stronger together.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I have to thank you before we wrap up for making me a 50-mile bouquet. So just talk about, is that something you do all the time, or that was special?
Just special for you. We wanted to kind of think of a way to welcome you in. So we were working on a map for the collective with all the farmers on it. And that got me thinking, well, we are the epitome of the 50-mile bouquet.
And we actually
Look at us.
we do make a bouquet every week to
Yes.
go with
Snow Me.
Oh yeah, finish up by
our gnome. He gets hidden. He gets hidden around town.
So Snow-No-Me.
Snow-No-Me.
Yep. Because if you're from Snohomish, you're technically a Snohomie. And so we thought they'll play on words here.
So we got a gnome. He's our mascot.
Yep.
And so we take him and we hide him down on First Street somewhere. And then whoever finds him, they read, they find out that they come up to the market, they get a free bouquet. And so whoever's at the market that day, we all donate a couple blooms and we make
a 50-mile bouquet.
50-mile bouquet. So
Slow
someone
flowers.
gets one every week.
Yep.
When they bring in.
Spreading the joy of
Our
slow
gnome.
flowers.
So have you been surprised at who comes in with it? Or the
Yeah, so a couple times it's been members because we're still spreading the word of his
Sure.
greatness.
They know
But
the
yeah,
love.
we have had strangers find him and they're just like so excited. I think I would squeal with joy if I found a gnome that was going to give me a bouquet on this side of the road. So
I love it.
yeah,
It's joy.
Way
Yep.
to drive traffic in here.
You know,
This fun, cute little idea.
Spreading joy.
Yep.
Okay.
That's all
Love
we're
it.
doing.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.